What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about a new article from Bloomberg from Jason Schreier himself, talking about Ken Levine. We know him as the creator, basically, of Bioshock, right? And how he formed his own studio. Now, we knew that. We knew that, I guess, those parts of it. But his, article was talking about the development hell that the team's project has been in. So we've heard a little bit about it, but not too much. And even what Schreier goes into is actually, I think, a little bit more details than we've ever heard before, but still not, obviously, like a very, very clear picture, right? But turns out the game was supposed to originally come out back in 2017, and the goalposts just kept moving, right? 2017, then 2018, then 2019, and it just keeps being pushed. It's an overall pretty good article. It's kind of even controversial in my opinion how I'm thinking of it, so you can let me know if you hate me or you disagree. But like, development hell, I guess it's true. I guess it would be more fair to say that it was in development hell, because and he literally puts it as a throwaway quote. He literally says one employee says this, and then he just keeps moving on to kind of like bash I would say bash, but other people that would be a little bit more calm would maybe say, just to try to tell the story of the studio. But an employee said that they do feel that things are on track now, that things are going in a good direction, and that the game could come out I guess there was a good and a bad part. They said, we feel like we're doing good now, like everything's on track, but it's still probably going to take another 2 or so years before the game comes out. And then he just keeps going. So it's tough because it's like one person that said that, but a lot of the people he talked to don't work there anymore. So the people that were talking about the bad elements of the game not releasing over these past 8 years they've been working on the game, those are a lot of people that are not there anymore. And then one person that still is there says, okay, well, now we have it under control. And I'm not necessarily, now I don't like Jason Schreier as a person, so I don't mind poking at him a little bit, but I don't say that as an anti-Jason Schreier thing. I just say that as it seems like when you say development hell, it means like you're currently in it. And if you take that one person, and again, it is one person, I will say, granted, it's that one person. If you take that one person's, statement, then maybe it's not in development hell anymore. And it sucks. It definitely, because it sounds like a very ambitious project. I mean, this is a game that's supposed to have, from what they describe it, basically every enemy, every individual in the game can become anything. They can become your friends. They can become in the middle. They can become your enemy, depending on how you as a person reacts. I believe it's supposed to take place in a space station, or that was the original idea. It'd be a shooter, much like in the way, or like a sci-fi shooter in the way of Bioshock. So it sounds great. And Ken Levine is a very, smart mind. A lot of this article goes to, I guess, directly bash him, and I get it. I mean, there are definitely some elements where if a game doesn't release, over a certain amount of time, eventually you kind of just need to look at yourself and say, am I demanding too much? Is there some miscommunication going on between me and my team? Because from what people have said, he's always been this way, where he's not afraid to throw away ideas. He's not afraid to just like them. He's not afraid to just rewrite on the fly and demand different stuff from his crew. He's always been like that. And he tried to change for a little bit, but it's still relatively the same now as it was at any other time, where things can just change on a dime and you just kind of have to react to it. And that, he's a very smart guy. I mean, I just don't get, I guess in a way of defending him, just in a little sense, right? You don't get Bioshock through Infinite. You don't get now, obviously there's some problems here and there, and people, especially with Infinite, people don't necessarily like, right? But like, Bioshock is commonly referred to, and I do agree with the idea, one of the greatest games of all time. And one of the main reasons is that story, which he would have had a really big, impact on. So, in order to have that kind of talent, I guess there is a point though where you have to reel that in, right? You have a guy that's so talented, such a special person in the world, in the gaming industry. He actually wanted to be a screenwriter before he did gaming stuff. So you have such a special guy, you got to be able to reel it in. And so I agree with both sides. I think there is a point where it's like, maybe you're going too far, you're demanding too much, especially when your game was supposed to release 4 years ago. There comes a point where there's a problem and you need other people to kind of pull you back. And the way the studio is operated is it's like he answers directly to Take-Two, and Take-Two really leaves him alone like 99% of the time. They don't mess with him. They give him the budget, and actually they give him a lot of money, and he's just able to kind of go at it. You know what I mean? So it's tough. It's tough with the kind of, I guess, ability that he has to kind of do whatever he wants. I can easily see that going to anybody's head, and then especially for someone like him, it can go even higher. But I like to be optimistic, and I want to see this game. You know what I mean? Again, I like all of Bioshocks. I actually, in my controversial opinion, Infinite is my favorite one. So take that for what you will. But I want to see what the next thing from him is, and it sucks that it's taken so long. I think we all kind of had assumed. I mean, a game doesn't really hang around for this long without there being issues. You know what I mean? Any studio that takes, I guess besides like Rockstar, and even Rockstar is guilty of this, if you take like more than 5-6 years to do something, you've either swapped projects midway through, so there's like a canceled game somewhere in there, or it's in development hell, or like at one point it was, right? That's the way it is. And so this is another example of that. I think we all knew that. But again, in my opinion, the good news, and I will take it for a little bit more weight because that person is still actually there. There's really no reason to lie about it. They say, they're on the right track. And by the way, for the crunch culture crowd, right, anti-crunch and all that stuff, which is fine, by the way, to be on that crowd, one thing that was said, actually, in a positive is there really is nothing like that here. That's actually the opposite, as Jason Schreier said, where it's calm. Nobody, you don't have to work like 500 hours a week, stuff like that. But not having a release date, not having like an actual, like, here's where the game has to come out, that actually leads to its own issues in terms of like workflow. So it actually kind of goes both ways. It's not just obviously you don't need to work like 200 hours a week, right, to make it all work. But if you have no idea when the game is coming out, that also impacts it as well. So hopefully we see it. I do think there were rumors a couple months ago. Now, obviously every rumor under the sun comes out when you get close to like the Game Awards time and stuff. But there were rumors with the next Bioshock game, which again, obviously he's not involved in, but also his game, which I believe they said would be announced next year. I mean, that seems right. If he wrote this, I mean, obviously the research for these articles take a long time. I could easily see this thing being announced at the end of this year. We're now in 2022. End of this year, it gets announced, and then 2023 it releases. I think that's definitely possible. So I'm hoping for it because I want to see what's next for Ken Levine. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Hit the bell icons so you guys know when all these videos go up. If you want to follow me anywhere else, I have a Twitter. I have a second YouTube channel. I also have Patreon and YouTube memberships. Links for them all are in the description below. Thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you all on the next video.